Boys, July 20th, Racket, New York City, 8 p.m. showtime. If you get a VIP ticket, we're opening those doors at 6 p.m. You get in, you get to hang out with Waz, you get to hang out with Tom, you get to hang out with Amin, you get to hang out with me, Jerv. Smoke weed with Jerv. I don't know what's allowed. Go
it's
smoke
legal
weed
now.
with Jerv. Yeah, it's legal.
It's definitely legal in New York.
Yeah.
And Jerv certainly will take advantage of that if I know anything about Jerv.
Go stand next to Maze and see how tall he is. There's all kinds of stuff you can do.
And how fat he is and how big his fedora is.
How many people have met Maze but didn't know they met Maze? That's my question.
Oh, that's a good question.
A lot.
Yeah.
Because he's been to live shows before he even worked with us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went to the live show in Oakland.
We met him. Yeah. He was taking pictures like a creep.
Where was it? Chicago when you wore the Minnesota Timberwolves authentic, Zach? Or the jacket, right? Was it the jacket?
I wore the jacket in LA.
In LA. Okay.
And then the jacket off.
Oh.
Wow.
That was the same live show where in 2 different nights, I bought $100 worth of pizza for the Airbnb. Didn't remember it, didn't eat it. Spent $200 on pizza I didn't eat.
How do you what does $200 worth of pizza look like?
It was a lot of pizza, man.
It's got to be like 5 pies a night.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 pies a night. I remember I brought them up to the Airbnb. I didn't know how much I spent. That was the problem.
And that was before Biden took over, right?
Yeah,
like
that's before
Pachyderm?
Biden. Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't eat it. And then I found out, I think a couple days later, like, holy shit, I spent a lot of money. So who knows? I might buy $100 worth of pizza
so the
for you.
pizza showed up at your door? And
No, there was a place across the street from the Airbnb. So I like went down and got pizzas and brought it up, and then did it again. Then did it the night before the live show, and then did it the night of after the live show.
Yeah. Okay.
And at no point did you eat any of the pizza.
No.
Well, you don't remember eating any of the pizza.
Yeah.
I was told I didn't have any of the pizza.
Zach has the pizza. Oh, no.
That might have been what it was. Just dodge it.
Guys, I have to do the whole like degreasing the pizza now. Like before I eat pizza, I get so much heartburn at night. Like I gotta
Worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Degreasing is crazy.
It is crazy. I don't know. I'm afraid that I just admitted this publicly, but like kind of like, I don't know. It's an embarrassing moment for me. Back in my day, I used to crush a whole pie of pizza, no problem. But that was in my 20s.
But now you got to like. So what are you doing? You're blotting. You're wringing it out like a hand towel. Like what are you doing?
Yeah. It's like a paper towel napkin. If I do it in public, I'm pretty sure that I have to leave the country. So I don't do this in public. I do this in private, the comforts of my own home.
Okay, so like you won't eat pizza in public then.
I have no pizza
you can't risk
policy.
It. Yeah.
At the live show, I will eat pizza publicly without blotting. I promise.
No, you have. Well, no, because then you're going to get heartburn and it's going to ruin your night. We can't risk it. Or we'll have Tums as a sponsor or something like that.
Zantac, bro.
Yeah.
Pepsid AC or something.
I got to get on it.
I had a pizza yesterday that had a cauliflower crust.
Not a pizza.
Couldn't really tell the difference. Shout out to Fresh Brothers. It was not bad.
Cauliflower crust.
Yeah.
So it's dough and crust, or is it the whole dough is cauliflower?
The whole dough is cauliflower, but it like felt like crust. It crunched like crust. It tasted pretty much like crust. You know, I still had like the regular toppings and regular cheese and sauce. I didn't like completely LA this shit, but the cauliflower crust was legit.
Okay.
Is the cauliflower move because of gluten, or is it because of just you want to be healthier?
You know,
I had tried it. I had tried it. I had tried it with people the other night, and I had a piece. I was like, ate it, and then they were like,
I bet
"No,
you
by the way,
did.
this is cauliflower crust." They all came on it, and so I was like, "That was pretty good." I wonder if it's really that good. So I tried it again, ordered it last night just for myself. Incredible.
Wow, you did the solo cauliflower pizza
last night. Yeah. I got a taste for it. I just
not
wanted
an
to confirm.
advertisement for Fresh Brothers, guys. That's Zach Harper being a genuine fan of alternate doughs.
If they want.
Yeah.
Yes. I will give myself further heart disease if they want to sponsor the podcast and just give me free pizza. I'll do that.
I think you knew. I think you knew by the order that you knew that this series was going to go longer. Was that your prediction? Was like, I'm going to have to work a little bit more on this Dallas Minnesota series, so I got to be a little bit healthier. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, I was like, this is going at least one more game. Minimum. This is going at least one more game.
So I was with our mutual buddy Jim Ice on Saturday.
Yeah.
And, we was just talking about shit, work and all of that. And I kid you not, he was cracking up at the idea of Zach finally going to the conference finals with the Wolves and them immediately getting smoked.
They lost both games. Lost both games.
Just proceeding to immediately get smoked.
Yeah. Well, you saw Jim Ice in the wild or at a game?
No, in the wild. It was his birthday.
Yeah.
He was celebrating a birthday.
Never seen Jim Ice anywhere outside of an NBA arena. Not even like walking in.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 2022. He came to my birthday party. So I'd seen him out that time.
You had it at Staples Center?
No, it was some little shit in West Hollywood. And then last night, I didn't know it was gonna be his birthday party. I just showed up to this event that Wells P was throwing, and Ice was there, and he's got his mans there. Chris Paul is there, all of that shit. Like Ice bringing out the big guns. I said, "Yo, where's LeBron at?" He said, with LJ. It's you got to give him a little bit more heads up and blah, 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 blah. But yes, Jim Ice refers to LeBron as LJ.
That's why LeBron never shows up to my birthday. I don't give him enough notice.
In Miami, they called him LJ. Like the Miami Heat organization called him LJ. And that's when I knew, they're on a different level with this guy.
Do you think that's friendship permeating through it? Do you think that was a Dwayne Wade led thing? He called him LJ, so then everyone else called him LJ, or is that a Heat thing?
I think it was a Dwayne thing. Like once Dwayne called him LJ, then everyone kind of followed suit.
Yeah.
And shouts to Dwayne. He's now going to be part of the Olympic coverage with NBC. So now he's a commentator now.
What does he know about Olympics?
Will he be better than he is in studio for TNT?
Has he been bad in studio for TNT?
He hasn't been bad, but I wouldn't say he's been good.
Decent.
He's been fine.
Yeah.
He's out of 10.
He's excellent at not wearing a shirt. I know that much.
That's
that part he's got down.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not trying to vanquish all his enemies like Draymond Green, right?
Oh, man. I love that guy.
It's just not. Here's the thing. It's not. I like him when he's clever. He's just being lazy now.
Yeah, he's just being rude. The Rudy thing is just so over the top now. Saying the Phoenix Suns had no big man, that actually made me laugh.
Well, that's hitting both of his enemies. That's hitting Nurk and Rudy at the same time. That I appreciate, actually. That's a two birds, one stone situation. But I don't is it possible for both sides of the Rudy debate to be wrong? Because that's what it feels like.
When
both
Kendrick
sides
Perkins
are wrong.
Is out here saying, I've revoked myself from voting national awards because of my own fraudulent voting for Rudy Gobert.
If you're keeping track, I don't think anyone had this on the bingo card that not one but two ESPN analysts would fall on the sword of I'll never vote again because this twice. How's that possible?
All that is
what? Why?
Little humble brag. It's a little humble brag. I'm for the last 8 years I've been voting on awards, and this is when I finally give it up. Is Rudy Gobert?
Also, Perk, have you not watched Rudy Gobert at all over the last? I don't know. 7-8 years at least.
I mean, I don't know if you know, but it's actually never Rudy's fault. No offense.
It's not Rudy's fault. This is not Rudy's fault.
No. It's definitely not his fault. When his coach says, funnel him inside the 3-point arc, and then you just let a guy shoot a three.
Well, not let a guy shoot a three. Not let a guy, Tom, Zach. Not let a guy, but let a guy, because you were insisting that I can move my feet this fast. Watch.
literally just play behind him. At that point, like you just run security.
Just run him off the line, and then trust that your number one defense in the world can handle the rest when he gets by you.
To be fair, the guy that he switched with, who would then be next in line, is Jaden McDaniels, who is not a good defender, right?
Not really known for that. No.
Yeah. No. Wait. Maybe he ended up on either he or Jalen McDaniels, prior to San Diego State, ended up on all defense. I can't remember which one. One of those guys.
It was Jaden.
I think it's
it was Jaden? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then,
I know that because there's a D in Jaden, and that's how D is for defense.
And Jalen played for the Hornets, and there's an L in Jalen. The Hornets don't know how to win. Right?
What I will say is that Utah, when they would get filleted on defense, that was not Rudy's fault. Getting smoked by Luka Doncic in the 1-on-1, all right, cool. I don't know,
who wouldn't get smoked by Luka in a one-on-one situation?
Tom, you know what this reminds me of?
It's not that he got scored on. It's the way he got scored on.
Let me tell you, a long time ago, there was this team named the Los Angeles Clippers, and they were playing this team called the Detroit Pistons. And someone threw a lob pass up in the air to a guy named DeAndre Jordan, who was a very good jumper at the time.
Oh, yes.
And there was a little guard named Brandon Knight, who played for the Pistons, who came over and explicitly to get destroyed on this dunk and get called on for a foul.
Now, I like a guy that rotates over. That's defense.
That you guys don't like defense. You guys, because the guy tries hard. That's why you guys no. But because he got there late as shit because he wasn't paying attention. And the people who are championing him are not realizing or recognizing it's not that he tried, it's that he was too late in his trying. His approach, his process was flawed, thus creating more problems than had he just not rotated at all, let the guy dunk. Similarly, Rudy Gobert, no one's saying, hey, lock up Luka Doncic. They're saying you're up 2. The only thing that can beat you is a 3. Ipso facto, don't let him shoot a 3. Ipso facto, run his ass off the line. But Rudy says, wait a second, I'm 4-time defensive player of the year. They say I can't switch on the guards, but I can. Watch this. And the cha-cha-cha happens. And Luka gets the open 3.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Rudy was specifically asked about, because Chris Finch obviously spoke first after the game and said, what was the instruction? Said switch and funnel inside the arc, no threes, right? And then Rudy was asked, like, hey, what was, and he's like, just get a stop. And like, were you trying to funnel him inside? He says, no, just trying to get a stop. So you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
He was doing
to quote the great Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction, that's pride fucking with you.
Yep. That's ego talking.
That's what that is. That's pride fucking with you.
Yep.
Because if you just follow instructions.
In game 4, late, I think Conley switched back onto Luka. It was late, like in the last couple minutes of the game. And it seemed like, oh, here we go again. Luka versus Rudy. Let's go. Round 2. And then Conley came back and was like, nah, I got this. And he just rolls over and Rudy gets back. I feel weird being on Rudy Gobert. Is anyone on Rudy Gobert Island anymore?
I'm not on Rudy Gobert Island, but I think some of the criticism gets overdone. You know what I mean? Like when Jokic is busting his ass, I'm like, if the standard is you have to be able to guard Jokic one-on-one, like effectively, then Bam can't win Defensive Player of the Year. AD can't win Defensive Player of the Year. Like no big man I've seen play this guy one-on-one can win Defensive Player of the Year.
Just Nas Reed in the 4th quarter of Game 7 as everyone makes excuses saying, whoa, he's so tired though now. He's so sleepy.
I love watching Nas Reed play basketball, man. He's so good, dude. He's so fun.
So Nas Reed is the real Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
For a 4-minute stretch, yes. Rudy should get blamed for what he did, but within reason. And the people defending Rudy saying, oh, it's never his fault. Like, no, he fucked up. He fucked up. And it's okay that he fucked up. Like, it doesn't invalidate the Defensive Player of the Year award selections, but it does remind you that regular season and playoffs are different.
It does invalidate it in one way. In the sense that I think the best defensive player in the league, A, has to be a guy who plays defensively smart. Draymond Green is a smart defensive player, right?
When he's not getting suspended for 25 games.
Yeah, when he's not choking
when he's
somebody.
Not putting some people in a headlock.
When he's not causing his team to miss the playoffs.
I'm not saying he should
lose the
have been. I'm not saying he should have been defensive player of the year.
Or stomping on someone's chest.
I'm talking about those years when Rudy won over Draymond. Those I thought they were egregious. For one, I think Draymond's a much smarter defensive player. But for two, this is the important part. In this game that we play now, the need for flexibility is greater than it's ever been. Rudy is excellent. He's elite at rim protection, paint protection. Absolutely. But the days are gone where you could just say, well, you could just be elite at this and you're fine, right? And to me, the guy who should have won was Bam Adebayo, because I think he's a guy that, first of all, guards 1 through 5 well. There's a difference between guarding 1 through 5 on a switch and guarding a guy well. He shut down fucking Jason Tatum in the playoffs, and then they switched him on to Jaylen Brown. They shut his ass down too. Like, that's the kind of defensive player he is. And number two, he's smart. I don't think Rudy's dumb, but I don't find him to be a cerebral defensive player who's like reading shit like 7 progressions down, like Draymond, like Bam, like Jaren Jackson, a couple other guys like that.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because they don't need to be, if they don't have a 9-foot wingspan like Rudy Gobert. Yeah. So like we don't think of Rudy Gobert as like cerebral, because like he can wash away a lot of mistakes or get away with a lot just by being fucking like there was a play last night where Kyrie Irving is coming around on the left side by the sideline, and Rudy Gobert just has his arm up in the air, like rolling down, sliding down next to him, and that arm is so big. Kyrie Irving was like trying to do this loop around pass to Daniel Gafford, I think it was, and threw it away. And half of that is because Gobert's just like huge. It's just, he's massive. So he gets away with a lot of that stuff just by virtue of being 7'3" and an 8-foot wingspan or whatever. And I think, like, to Waz's point, I think the criticism is way over the top. When we talk about Rudy Gobert and like his defense and how it can get exploited in the postseason, the on-court, off-court stuff, all of it points to Rudy Gobert being the best defender in this series, best defender for the Minnesota Timberwolves. When he's in the paint, they don't go at the rim. Like, very rarely do you see. There was one time late in the game, PJ Washington went right at Rudy Gobert and finished real tough. It was amazing. Other times they were like, we're not doing this. We're going to do floaters in the late paint or backup paint. And a lot of it is just Rudy Gobert is back there, so we're not going to do any of that shit.
I would say he's the best help defender, which is a massive part of defense, but there is a reason that they are trying to get their scores to have him switched on. And I think that speaks to Amin's point of like, look, can you really be the defensive player of the year if they're going at you? And so like yes, if it's Luka,
Zach, let's be clear.
Yes.
There's a difference between, a switch happened. Oh shit. Oh, he still went at him. He wasn't scared, versus that's the guy I want. Bring him to me.
Yes.
That's the difference. That's a major difference.
It's one thing when it's Luka. It's one thing when it's Kyrie. There was a play last night where Hardy had Gobert on him. He's trying to get the ball to Luka, and Luka's like, go the fuck at him. What are you doing? Like, you got the matchup. And he does. And I think he scored. Like, but they don't respect him in that way. And I think that's the interesting disconnect is, again, I think if all things are relatively equal, I will go with the guy who is far more versatile when it comes to defensive player of the year. I didn't think it was as close as Amin thinks between Bam and Rudy. I thought Rudy was the guy this year, right?
You need to give up your pick just like Perk.
I'm not giving up shit. I'm not giving up shit. I'm not doing the performance. Like, by the way, Perk's voting next year. All right, we all know he's voting next year. Like, what are we doing? So I do value versatility, but in that sense, like, I do think on random nights going against Rudy Gobert is fucking hell. But you game plan in a series, you can exploit it. And it doesn't mean he's bad. It just means he's not as effective as being the best defensive player in the regular season.
For me, my Rudy thing switched in that Clipper series where I'm watching Terrence Mann and fucking Reggie Jackson, who's effectively damn near out of the NBA now, just destroy every single Utah defender. One fucking dribble, they're in the paint. And I'm like, all right, if they're playing a 5-out and every freaking Utah perimeter defender just gets smoked on one move every single time, Rudy's either got to stay in the paint or he's got to cover the shooter. Like, he can't be at two places at once when the guys in front of him are offering absolutely no resistance whatsoever.
Yeah,
and
he was
for people
put in
to
a
be
bad...
like, that was Rudy's fault. I'm like, come on, son. I was at those games.
For sure, but was also...
Terrence Mann dropped 50 one game.
39. He had 39, but it felt like 50.
You're like my urologist talking here. Yeah. It's like, 40%. Yeah, it was 22.
No, but was it like, I don't deny... This is where I push back on the defense of Rudy. Like, I don't deny that Rudy was put in a bad situation. But if you're the best defender in the world and the defensive player of the year 4 times over and everything, aren't you supposed to be able to make up for a lot of that? That's where I think the disconnect is for me in the conversation. It's like, it can't never be his fault. Now he's got Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Mike Conley's a good defender. Kyle
everybody on that team is a good defensive player.
Except for Karl Anthony Towns.
Well,
Carl has moments, but yeah.
We'll get to him in a second.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is like, you have all these people now, and they're still hunting him. That's the crazy thing to me.
It's a bad hunt, though.
They were asked to pick their...
I don't know. They're 3-1.
Oh my God. That's insane, bro. Look, the difference in the series is 8 points total. Bro.
Rudy Gobert outscored Luka and Kyrie in the fourth quarter last night. Okay, it's not his fault. It's not his. They've been up in the last 5 minutes in every single one of these games. We're going to throw it at Rudy? We're going to blame Rudy
community has to stop trying to be fucking Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting. Like, it can be his fault and everyone's fault. It doesn't have to be just his fault. But if you are making bad decisions, it's everyone's fault. Like, you're losing.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not your...
That's my problem. It's like, why can't he have some of the blame?
Yes.
No,
that's
he could definitely have some of the blame. And I think when Denver won the 3 straight games and their offense finally looked like themselves again, I think part of it was Rudy was getting smoked. But it's just true.
Yes, but that one game, that one game by Jokic, I'm like, there's literally, like, he was playing great defense for the majority of that game and just getting cooked because Jokic was on another plane of existence, right? Like, that game, I'm like, you can't blame him for that. He had like 2 mistakes against Jokic in that game and give up a shitload of buckets.
I would argue that the 2 games that they won, the Wolves won at the start of the series, one of them obviously Rudy didn't play in, but like, it was Naz Reid that was fucking him up.
Yes.
It wasn't Rudy's great defense that got them those 2 wins.
Yes.
It was Naz Reid. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I think what voters do, particularly with defense, is because we don't know what or most of them don't know what they're watching. So they say best defense, best defender on the best defense.
I'm sorry. You think the Greek guy that left Luka off his ballot doesn't know what he's doing? I'm sorry. I mean, it's time for you to capitulate.
I don't want to appreciate that.
My man from Spain who fucking had a Sabonis first team all defense. And
the soccer journalist.
The Kings had a great finish to the season defensively. You know, he probably saw what he needed to see there.
Nah, man, the Mavericks are shooting 68% at the rim when Rudy Gobert is on the floor. When he's off the floor, they're shooting 83% at the rim. Their average shot distance with Rudy Gobert out there at a 2-point shot distance is 7 feet away from the basket. When he's not out there, it's 5.4. They're getting to the rim relentlessly when they get Cat out there or Naz Reid out there. And Rudy Gobert is the only one that is providing any resistance at the rim. And there was a stretch in game 2, where they had 6 straight baskets at the rim when Rudy Gobert hit the bench in the second quarter. And we're blaming this dude. Draymond Green is out here saying we need to bench this
Draymond's
guy.
not doing analysis. Man. Draymond is being a professional dick. Like, that's what he's doing.
Make him a 6 man.
But Tom, like, you're doing the disingenuous thing where me and Zach are explaining to you why Rudy Gobert, his defensive impact might be overstated. And you're turning it into we're blaming him for their losses. not blaming him for why they were down.
Well, Zach did say 3-1. He did say
the other problem is he can't catch a fucking basketball, so he can't punish them on the other end. That's the other problem. There's nothing to do with his defense.
Can I ask y'all a question?
He has the worst hands I've ever seen.
Let me ask y'all a question. He's got the worst hands you've ever seen. But here's the real question. Why the fuck do they post him up so goddamn much?
Because you have to keep him engaged. He's a powder. He's a powder.
Have to. And at a certain point, if Kyrie's guarding him 3 feet from the basket, even if it looks like he has oven mitts on whenever he tries to catch the ball, like, you got to give it to him at a certain point.
You don't, because he's going to bring the ball down. It's going to get stripped.
You throw it right to the front of the rim.
Keep it high to save his fucking life.
Just throw it up there. You don't.
It doesn't matter. He's going to bring it down.
You see that play where he had Luka in the post there at the end of the game, and then he like pump faked, and Luka like got in his grill a little bit and got the foul.
Yeah,
he missed both free throws after that. Yeah. And I was like, ball don't lie. Like, you should not be dumping the ball into the post in the clutch situation to Rudy Gobert and get away.
The play where Carl hit a left corner three. Rudy's like calling for the ball in the post. He had someone little on him in the post. He's calling for the ball, and Ant's just like, get out of here.
What's worse?
Get to the corner.
I'll tell you what's worse. What's worse is when I see Ant, he catches it on the wing, and it's like, all right, like, it's clearly like, yo, we've got this shit cleared out. And here comes this big doofy motherfucker, like,
oh my god, I mean, I have actual witness. Like, when I watched games 6 and 7 with Miles Brown, I was just like, it wasn't even like I won a result. It was this brand of basketball was infuriating me. The Ant would start to operate, and Rudy comes flashing through the middle to get in the way. And I'm like, get the fuck out of the way. Like, what are you doing? They've got to be like, let's assume that they pull off the miraculous comeback and win this series and go to the finals. I will never. I will. No, let's assume it. Let's assume it, because I will say unequivocally, the dumbest team to ever make the finals ever. I love dumbest. The dumbest. You cannot find a dumber team. I'm thinking. Maybe that's why I said that they make it. Maybe, but finals. These motherfuckers. I swear to God. Between that, they might be. Carl, you have 5 fouls. Okay. You can't fucking bite on it. Got it. Okay, go out there.
That was nuts. That was nuts.
But at least he's not having a redemption game in that moment, right? Like, at least he's like not. He's not hitting shots.
You need a little bit dumb. You need a little bit dumb to come back from 0-3. You have to be dumb enough to you have a chance.
That's a good point. You do have to be dumb. You have to be dumb enough to know you're not supposed to lose.
I don't think Ant is dumb, and I don't think Conley's dumb, and I don't think Kyle Anderson's dumb, and I don't think Naz Reid is dumb. Like, I think those guys are confident.
I don't think McDaniels is dumb. Like, he's not. He's smart, but he's not dumb.
You're talking to someone who has
bad fouls, though. He has a lot of bad fouls.
He's also guarding Luka, though. Like,
I'm just saying, we're not talking about like what you score in your SAT. I'm talking about like situationally knowing. Like, Karl-Anthony Towns is not a stupid basketball player. He's smart, but put him on a basketball court and he does dumb shit.
Yeah, he does.
I don't
he does
know
the dumbest shit.
It's literally it's the same it's the same mistakes every game, and he's 9 years into his career.
And they're giggling about it in the goddamn press conference every day. Like, you got to stop fouling. You stop fouling. Like,
you guys.
Point, when does he get cussed out? Like, motherfucker, stop fucking fouling.
Oh, Finch has done that for sure.
I'm not talking about Finch. I'm talking about the motherfucker that actually scares him.
Yeah. Ain't got to yell at him, for sure.
He's done it, though, on the press conference. The first one where he's like, yo, you got to stop fouling. I told you guys to stop fouling.
It's a very political.
Lot of giggles. No. The other one, too. Because it always comes after a win. Yeah. So they're always, like, in a good mood when they're talking about it. Like, it's no. I'm talking about on the court, like, the way Kyrie and Luka and Derrick Jones Jr. and, PJ Washington? The way they were yelling at fucking Maxi Kleber.
That was great.
That's what needs to happen to Cat. Like, a public undressing by his teammates. Because
you think they should fly Jimmy Butler in for Game 5?
Oh, my God. No, then he goes in a shell. Starts sucking his thumb somewhere.
Was that after a breakup? Like, your boys are trying to get you to come out, like, to the club or something like that. And you're Maxi Kleber, and you're like, nah, man, I just not.
I think I saw a lot of versions of like,
here. Let's go.
It's the opposite.
We're
Tom.
trying to go to the next spot, and you're here busy talking to this person.
Not even that, Zach. It's you're scaring the hose. Well, that is absolutely like, come here, stop scaring the hose. Like
some people refer to them as women.
You at the party, everyone's like having a good time, we're mingling, and hey, yeah, we all been roofied before. Like, why would that be the topic of conversation? I'm just trying to make conversation.
I don't know who Amin's hanging out with. This is I've never been in that scenario before.
In Hawaii. I'm from the future.
The future callback. This isn't Cinephobe. The timeline's not fucked up.
Today. To the Karl Anthony Towns thing, when Luka got him on that 3-shot foul on the foul 3, if that is Jaden McDaniels, I don't think Scott Foster's making that call.
Agreed.
He landed in his area though. He lunged and landed in his area. He landed way on the other side.
Was like he jumped too far.
Luka jumped sideways to get into him.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
I can send you the screen grab. It is.
No, I watched the fucking film 800 times.
Luka didn't go straight up and straight down, but Karl Towns is all the way in his area.
He jumped like 4 feet forward.
This is what happened. Luka jumped towards the basket. Towns jumped towards him. And by the way, not that this means anything to you guys or Tom Thibodeau, but last 2-minute report supports what I said. Like,
I think it was a foul.
Last 2-minute report. If it agrees with me, that means it was great.
If Scott Foster's making the call, they're gonna say he was right. Let's just be honest about it.
I think it was the right call. It's the right call.
You mean Mr. Series Extender?
Yeah, the extender. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what happened?
That's how Tom reversed Uno cards. Hey, what happened? Oh shit, Tom's right. Wait a second.
Hold on.
The extender.
There we go. The extender here. I think what we do with Cat is he's the boy who cried wolf. You can't complain about every single call and expect to get the benefit of the doubt on something like that.
The wolf who cried foul.
The other thing is, like, you get 6 fouls, and usually when we have these conversations about people who have dumb fouls, right? You got 6 fouls, and maybe 2 of them are dumb. Hey, man, the time in the clock. Hey, man, you have 4 fouls. Hey, this motherfucker, 4 out of his 6 fouls every night are just fucking dumb.
So dumb.
First quarter fouls 70 feet away from the basket.
Pushing off on when like, being out of control, driving in the lane. Like, it's if he would just... Look, I know he's 9 years in, so it's probably not going to change. But if he would take an extra dribble on drives to the basket, pro hop, and go straight up, he would score every time.
No, he has to use his off arm, the Billy Club people every single time.
Yo,
do you think he knows he's 7 feet tall?
Oh no,
yeah, he does because he's the greatest shooting big man of all time. Remember that?
Knows he's 7 feet tall. This is the same motherfucker. Now I know we shouldn't hold ourselves accountable by who we were in high school. But in high school, this is ask this motherfucker, what do you want to be? Who do you like? And he's like, oh, Scott Van Pelt. Like, you're the number 1 high school player in the country. Anytime I Scott Van Pelt is what I want to be. Like, doing Sports Center.
Draymond should be worried that he's coming for his job. His TNT job.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Which voice shows up, though?
Well, that's why you tune in. You got to find out.
Controversial. When
the games are on True TV, it'll be this voice.
Ant is right, though, in that when he's on the court, even with all the dumb things, like, they're
better.
So much better.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Like, even when he's not hitting threes, even when he's not hitting shots, the threat is there. And that's what, people are like, oh, he's not doing anything. It's like, no, but the defense is still worried about him.
They need Cat so badly because the Mavs are camping out in the paint and they don't have another creator other than Ant. And so it gets so cramped in the paint. They got nothing if Cat's not out there spreading the offense. And like, he hit some crazy shots there at the end. But like, Ant doesn't have that release valve unless Cat is out there. Now Nas in game 3, different situation, but like, man, also, the Cat is so necessary for them to move on.
It's funny too, like, it's funny how different we view everything in this series if Nas hits that shot at the end of game 2. Because like Ant actually like set him up well. He got a good shot off. It goes in and out.
The help.
Yeah, made the right play. They win that game if it hits. Like, we think about this whole series entirely different.
But Zach, that's like my thing was like, how enthusiastic can you be about the Celtics? Like when 3 out of 4 games, he should have fucking lost. If the Pacers were just if it's not Andrew Nemhart and goddamn TJ McConnell leading the way.
Hold on. Tyrese Halliburton gave away.
No, he gave away game 1, but not until after Andrew Nemhart couldn't figure out. I don't have a good fucking inbound timeout. Everyone's like, that's Carlisle's fault. Like, it's Carlisle's fault that Nemhart can't count to 5? Like,
well, they don't teach you that.
So wait, you guys aren't picking the 27 Yankees, aka the Boston Celtics, to win the championship?
Oh man.
Well, I don't know who they're going to face yet.
Well, whoever they're going to face are going to get injured, so we know that.
That's true.
Oh, that's true. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Everyone, be careful. Luka and Ant need to be careful.
Luka's knee, man. I just keep looking at it like, shit, man.
Only 11 times out of 155 has a game 6 been forced.
Well, this is why you need to be dumb. The 2004 Red Sox called themselves the idiots because they didn't give a fuck about expectations. They didn't give a fuck about history. They just wanted to go out there and beat the motherfucking New York Yankees. And that's all they cared about. They called themselves the idiots. Their thing was cowboy up. They would rip shots at Jack Daniels before the games. Pretty sure that was true.
During the games, they said. I'm dead serious. They're talking about doing it during the games, like in between innings.
You need a little bit of dumb to pull this off. And so I feel like the Timberwolves, Zach, do you feel like the Timberwolves are just dumb enough to do this or no?
They're a little too dumb to do this.
Yeah, they might have gone too much on the scale. Like, because remember a couple years ago, Dem versus the Grizzlies? It was the dumbest series both ways.
Both ways. It was the worst. It was the worst playoff series.
The world record for dumb plays made, bro.
Like they were like going back and forth. Like, you know, like you remember like Bird versus Dominique Wilkins? It's like he made a great play, and then he makes a great play, and then he makes a great play. It was like that, but like for dumb mistakes. Like they just kept fucking up back and forth, back and forth.
Now they're not that dumb anymore, but they just make some dumbass decisions. Like just dumbass decisions. And it's, you know, I was arguing about this last night on Juju's show where I was like, if the Celtics play smart basketball, nobody can touch them. But they don't. Right? And the Wolves, like I truly think like if they would play smart basketball, they would jump up like 4 more levels. But they just go into these dumb ruts when they just play and things free flowing and Mike Conley's on the court and Kyle Anderson. The IQ of the team is raised up obviously, and they play good basketball. And then if you can get Ant to like take over, like it's over. But they just get in their way with just the stupidest decisions.
I think
or
it
reactions
helped
or whatever.
That Lively Jr. was out too, because the Moxie Kleber and Dwight Powell minutes. Oh my God, Dwight Powell was done.
Maxie did a good job in the first half, but then he ran out of gas. Like you could tell that he hasn't played basketball.
But he can't shoot, and that's half his value. So like, if his shoulder's effed, he's not going to be able to be Maxie Kleber. You know, so those minutes have not been good.
He was mini Kleber. He wasn't Maxie, you know.
Oh, because Max and Min are opposite. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Zach.
Just a quick aside. Bronny James is staying in the draft, and his agent said many teams have called.
10.
He's turning 10. Down workouts, right? Mm-hmm. That's the report. He's turning down workouts.
And so on and so forth, right?
Yeah, and the list goes on.
And the list goes on. Yeah, it was what is it? He's gonna do the Phoenix workout and the Lakers workout. Mm-hmm. So
I'm surprised he got one with the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't know how he worked that.
Rich Paul, he
Uncle Rich?
Uncle Rich. Did you think he also Uncle Rich?
Probably, right? Why wouldn't he?
Probably.
I think it's smart for him to stay in this draft because this draft is cheap.
Terrible. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think one is smart for him to stay in the draft, but also two, just get it over with. Like fail at the NBA now and move on with your life. Instead of carrying the shoe.
Hold on, he might be okay.
No, I'm not saying that he will or won't be. I'm just saying like staying in college is not going to have a material impact on whether this guy has a long-term NBA future.
I once posited the theory that it's always a good time to come out in the draft. It's never a good idea to go. Now, this is before the NIL. But I think about all the players that like go back to school, even the ones who move up in their draft positioning after go back to school.
Daniel Gafford moved down. He was like a top 20 pick, decided to go back, and then was second round pick, like 30 something.
Like even a lot of the guys that move up, it's like you should have just came out and made that extra year of money. Like it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Because if you come out early, you're young. You're 18. You're 19. But as soon as you go back, people are like, "Ooh, he's 20 now." I mean, he's getting kind of
reason
old
for him to be wasting time at college. Like, put yourself in this pro situation. Figure out if you got what it takes.
Yeah, you can always get your degree later.
Or do you think he gets to 55?
I think so.
Or you can just go back to being the heir to $1 billion fortune.
No,
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, but you got to split with Bryce and Zuri. Yeah,
Billy Gill was like, he should have been an intern. He should be interning somewhere like Goldman Sachs or some shit.
Darius Baisley interning at New Balance.
Oh my God, remember that? I bought into that.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, they gave me free shoes. That's why.
Yeah.
AG1
is delicious.
Are they?
Those New Balances that I got?
I don't like.
Just couldn't wear them in LA. That's the only problem.
Why?
They were blue and red.
Put a target on you.
But to both angles, I'm like,
The New Balance don't do it for me, man.
No.
Nah.
That's the only pair I own. I'll tell you why they don't do it for me, because I was like, one day I was like, you know what? I'll try this New Balance shit. People say it's comfortable, whatever. I saw the price tag. I was like, absolutely not. For some New Balances? Fuck out of here, man.
Might as well be hooping in some Hokas.
It's always hooping in some Hokas.
Hokas are everywhere here. Oh my God.
Everywhere.
My wife just got a pair. She had like a 25% off at like Dick's or something like that.
There's probably still $300.
Have fun with that one. And she went in to go buy some Hokas, and the guy was like, "Sorry, Hoka has a no discount policy." I was like, "Wait, they can do that?" So you straight up don't get discounts on Hoka
these assholes. Fuck these assholes with these stupid ass shoes that nurses wear and every white person traveling.
Are you anti-nurse?
Wow.
Oh, no, sir.
I mean, hates first responders. How about that?
Oh, speaking of first responders. What that fucking joke?
Hocus pocus.
I'm a 9/11 last responder. I just got to the scene, but it looks like
Jesus.
Looks like everything's been taken care of.
Well, we could have cut that one out. We all saw the meme. Yeah, Tom's got the right idea.
Hokas are dumb. They're dumb shoes. They're dumb looking shoes. Everyone's like, but they're so comfy. Like, I don't give a shit. I'll wear high heels before I wear Hokas, man.
Yeah.
Straight up.
At the live show, we're just going to have
live show. Amin will be in heels.
And high heels. And we're going to see which one.
Get your VIP tickets.
I'm not going to say it, but May's unveiled what he's going to be wearing.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
If you're a Cinephobe fan, this is going to hit for you.
Wearing stilettos?
Yes. Yeah. He's going to be 7'3".
With a fedora.
With a fedora. 7'5" with a fedora. He's challenging Wemby. One-on-one. VIP. Are we
going to talk about Bronny at all, or we just had our jokes?
No, I mean, it says that after, a strong few weeks of measurements, drills, and scrimmages, James climbed 44 spots to number 54 in the top 100. He'll likely
top
rise.
100?
I guess ESPN.
He was 98th?
Yeah.
Whoa. Because he made a couple shots at the combine?
I guess.
And also the right people talk to the right people.
But also, don't we expect him to kind of elevate everything exponentially as he further recovers from this heart issue?
Yeah. Well, also, if the 55th pick, if you're going to take a flyer on a dude, fine. Do we know the history of the 55th and beyond in the draft? It's almost nothing.
Isaiah Thomas. Manu. Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas. I get it.
Look it up.
It's half the dudes don't even play in the NBA. So if that's the bar, absolutely the Lakers should take
Sacre.
Jabari Walker.
Samaki's son.
Was that
Trace Jackson Davis.
Yeah.
Jericho Sims.
Also, every undrafted player. Ever.
Nas Reed. Ben Wallace.
Nas Reed.
Reed.
But all of them are
Sam
all
Merrill.
looking up at the throne of Ish Smith undrafted. Let's just be honest here.
You think? Wait, Ish Smith is above Ben Wallace?
He's the gold standard for undrafted NBA
Ben Wallace
players.
is tied with Rudy Gobert for Defensive Player of the Year awards.
Yeah, but how many teams did those guys play for?
That's fair. Yeah, he did set the record for.
Checkmate.
Yeah. Right. Checkmate.
That was like last night. Karl Anthony Towns was like, "Hey man, you got all those fouls too," and he goes, "Yeah, but I didn't foul out." And he's like, "Oh." Shut his ass up real fast.
I like Tom's Karl impersonation.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Not at all problematic.
Well, that can't be. Not when you're doing a Karl impersonation, right?
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to ask Tom a question. I want to ask you a Wake Forest question. I saw a clip from Jeff Teague's pod.
Teague?
where someone had put him 9th all time at Wake Forest, right?
Yeah.
And Randolph Childress was like 4th or 5th. And he was like, "No, I'm better than Randolph." He was giving other people the props. He wasn't saying he's the best, but he was like, "I'm better than Randolph." I want you to weigh in on this. Yeah, he was like, "Fuck that." He's like, "I'll play him one-on-one right now."
Yeah, come on. The dude's Randolph Childress is like 50. Okay, first of all. Secondly, the question was best Wake players at Wake or best like all around players. Because Randolph Childress has Jeff Teague like running circles around him in terms of Wake Forest performance. Like Randolph was a better college player than Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague had a much better NBA career than Randolph Childress because just about everybody has a better NBA career than Randolph Childress. So
which one do you count as a Wake guy?
At Wake, I would take Randolph Childress. Entire basketball career, Jeff Teague. Yeah.
Does that include
But I'm
the podcast?
saying when in your mind's eye, who's a better Demon Deacon? Like when you're thinking about
Josh Howard better than Jeff Teague?
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was LD Williams better than Jeff? No, fucking right.
Is this because Teague left early? So you resent him for not sticking out the 4 years?
Nah, man. Jeff Teague, he came back in a way that like Al-Farouq Aminu came back. The fact that James Johnson is still in the NBA, and I know he's in like a Udonis Haslem role right now, but if you had told me that crew with Jeff Teague, James Johnson, Ish Smith, Al-Farouq Aminu, that he would be the one to play and have like a 15-year career,
crazy.
It is nuts. It is
How
crazy.
the hell did they lose to Cleveland State?
Oh, dude, Norris Cole bust their ass.
He had 20.
He bust their ass. Do you know the story? Do you know the story?
Game was in Miami, first of all. That's why. No. Secondly, there's rumors that there was a fight at like halftime. Yeah, like they got into it at halftime.
The Wake Forest players.
Yeah, and they froze out. Yep. And Jeff Teague might have been involved in this.
Well, hold on. Not just froze him out, but also froze him out at the behest of the man they call Bloodsport.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like they're get into it, and then like he just laughs and he says, "Look around. You think these people follow you?" And at that point, it doesn't matter whether you follow Jeff Teague or not. At that point, you got to be like,
what he said, yeah. Norris Cole, man.
James Johnson was by far the most fascinating, like deep dive into background of any prospect ever.
So when you get like handed a roster of players that you got to research, do you already know like, oh, I can't wait for this one? Like I am so excited.
So we knew some. Obviously, he was already very interesting because the stuff that was known. His parents moved from South Central Los Angeles to escape gang violence, opened a dojo in in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and all that stuff. But like the real stuff was like I didn't research it. We had like an actual private investigator go and do the fucking work. Yeah, he's a PI. And so one of the things that they came back with was like the PI's like, I've never had this happen before. And we're like, what do you mean? He said, well, I talked to a lot of people, and half the people were like, the Johnson family were sent from heaven. This is the best people ever. And James is like a saint. And at school, he was like best friends with every, like the disabled kids, the nerdy kids, whatever. He was their best friend, and he wouldn't allow anybody to bully them, because anyone who tried to bully them had to answer to James. And it's like, this guy's amazing. And then the other people were like, this dude is a menace. Wow. He's just out here fucking people up left and right or whatever. And I guess
now, were these the people that were trying to mess with the disabled kids and the nerds?
No, yes, but see, like what I gathered from the intel, the conclusion I drew was that this dude on purpose befriended the most bullied kids
so that he could fight people.
Yeah, I was like, I give me a nice supply of like just victims, and it's like, well, like no one will ever feel bad about you kicking the ass of the guy that like shoved the kid in the wheelchair, right? Like,
yo, so just like first day of school, he's like, Millhouse, get your ass over here. I want to be your friend.
Yo, Lou Williams told a story on one of these pods where he was out at the club with James Johnson and a couple other folks, and they go, and this dude comes up to Lou and is like in his ear about something, like maybe a fan who was like, yo, and James Johnson grabs the dude, knocks him right out.
Oh my
Lou's
God.
like, I didn't even call him over. Didn't even like say, yo, get this guy. He just came up, thought that he was like getting in a fight with Lou or talking shit.
You're too close to me, man.
And he just clocked the dude, knocked him out cold. And Lou's like, I didn't even ask for it. And he just did that. And I don't even think it was the right move, but like, shouts to James Johnson.
Yeah. The best part about him getting signed by the Pacers is after they had all that beef with the Bucks, and they were like, you know what? We need somebody that's going to
we got something for your ass.
Yeah.
Like, this is, you got Brook and Thanasis? Watch this shit. Like,
conveniently, Giannis is like, y'all got this.
My
Yo, did you notice in the Knicks
I don't know. It's just...
You notice in the Knicks series where like there's like a little bit of a tussle, and then like out of nowhere, here comes James Johnson from across the court and gets in the middle of it. And I'm sitting there being like, yo, is he going to get like suspended for that? Like leaving the bench?
No, he didn't.
Didn't get suspended at all. Like there was not even a discussion.
I feel like Josh Hart was talking to the like, yo, bro, come on. He can't do this.
Call him timeout. It's free game.
I'm going to tell y'all right now. James Johnson actually got cut like fucking years ago, but they just don't have the heart. Okay, you tell him. You tell him he's not on the team anymore.
He's the Milton of the Pacers.
But like, it's like the opposite though.
Ty Lue got extended. We want to talk about that.
I was asking Verrier, should he be more thankful to Monty's agent or the Detroit management? Who deserves the thank you card for Ty Lue's deal?
1,000% Detroit, because Monty literally said, I don't want to do this.
Monty's trying to get fired. You cannot convince me he's not trying to get fired. To the point where they had to trade Livers out and they had to cut Killian Hayes because he wouldn't stop playing those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I seen Ty Lue got 70 mil. I was like, oh, Monty set the new market. Mm-hmm. Salute. How much do we think JJ's going to get to coach LeBron?
Well, some of it's going to be dependent on how many downloads they get. There's gonna be revenue sharing.
I think Bob from marketing explained to us how that goes. CPM. Yeah, there you go.
Bruh. Like, whatever. I happen to think JJ could probably do a good job of being an NBA coach, but like starting your coaching journey by basically doing a pod with LeBron that's just PR of like this dude's basketball knowledge is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life, bro.
If it gets him $50 million guaranteed,
yeah,
amazing.
I mean, can you compare and contrast Steve Nash taking the Nets job and JJ Redick taking the Lakers job?
Well, it's similar. I think Steve Nash had a little bit more varied of interest, but JJ's another guy. Like, yo, you have a life, dude. Why do you want to do this shit? Like, I'll be honest.
Doesn't he coach his kids?
He loves the grind.
Doesn't he coach like AAU or something like that?
Yeah,
I think that's what did it.
Yeah,
I think that's what did it. It was just like, I got to get away from these kids.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
I'm saying AAU basketball is terrible. It's so hard to watch.
I love that Amin is in this now as a parent. I love this.
It's not like, you know what? Sometimes it's the coach's fault. A lot of these kids are just, what are you doing, man? A lot of it's just the kids like, what are you doing, man? Why would you do that? But man, this has been the most trying phase of parenthood for sure. Like, I low-key wish my kid didn't play basketball. Like, it's just,
you're like, let's see if you can draw.
Is it just being at the games or just everything about AAU culture?
Everything about AAU culture. So it's like and it's the simultaneous of all the shit I got to do, but then also feeling like if I don't do it, then I'm the one fucking up. Like, I'm letting my kid down. Mm-hmm. And so things like practice, taking my kid out to the court and working extra work and all that stuff, sitting down, watching these games. These games, by the way, are massive price gouging exercises. That's all it is. I had to pay. I paid my first AU tournament I went to watch my kid. I paid more money than I'd paid in 20 prior years of going to NBA games. To watch my own child.
But also, like, you've been getting it for free for 20 years.
Sure. But still, like $45-$50, like that's a lot of money, man.
Crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
For glorified scrimmages too. That's the crazy thing.
This is what Josiah Johnson told me. Because when I asked him, like, how much is this shit supposed to cost? Because, like, looking at these fucking bills or whatever. And he said, it depends. Is your kid good? And I said, probably no. And he said, well, there you go. Then it's going to cost that much. Because, like, if my kid was the next coming of Anthony Edwards,
all this shit would be taken care of, right?
Everything's taken care of.
Yeah.
If his kid was goddamn Jason Sehorn or whatever.
Yeah.
Jason Sehorn?
Chris about a white player.
Okay, one of the great whites.
Yeah.
The last. Some say the last.
Well, just in football.
The last of a dying breed. Yep.
Right. If he was like that, then absolutely would have been included. But he's not. So his presence is just there to fill a roster spot, but also to subsidize those who can't. And that's how you know how good your kid is, because it's like, we're really going to need him or whatever. Then it's like, then find a way to get him there. But I can't.
But he's not the next Wyatt Tittle, so what are you going to do? Yeah.
Wyatt Titty.
Go buy tickets for the live show. July 20th, Racket, New York City. You can buy pre-sale. Patreon.com/countthedings. You get 25% off. You get access to all of our great features for the Patreons. You won't want to miss this live show. Very special guest showing up. It's going to be incredible. If you miss it, you'll never forgive yourself. How about that? It'll be one of your great regrets in life.
How about that?